The ghostly encounter. It was a dark and eerie night, and I found myself caught up in a spine-chilling episode of sleep paralysis. Yeah, you know, that terrifying feeling when you're awake but completely unable to move? Well, this night took that whole experience to a whole new level of creepiness. As I lay there, paralyzed in my bed, the room transformed into an unsettling abyss. The air became thick, suffocating me with an ominous presence that seemed to seep from every corner. I tell you, fear was coursing through my veins like wildfire. And then, out of nowhere, I saw her, a ghostly little girl with a face that was disfigured and twisted, straight out of a horror movie. I couldn't believe my eyes. Her gaze was empty, and her mouth seemed to contort in an eternal agony. It was like a nightmare come to life. Now, imagine being trapped in your own body, unable to scream or move a muscle, while this haunting specter approached you. Talk about feeling utterly helpless. The girl floated closer, her movements unnaturally graceful, as if she was being controlled by some unseen puppeteer. The sorrow that emanated from her disfigured face was palpable, like she carried the weight of 1,000 sorrows within her ethereal form. I tried to scream, to call for help, but not a sound escaped my lips. It felt like an eternity as she lingered there, her presence etching nightmares into the very fabric of my soul. Finally, the grip of sleep paralysis released its hold on me, and I sat up in bed, drenched in sweat. The room returned to its usual appearance, bathed in the soft glow of the moon. But let me tell you, the memory of that ghostly encounter was etched deep in my mind. Over time, her visits became less frequent, until they eventually ceased altogether. It felt like she had finally found peace, her disfigured face forever at rest. Taken in the dead of the night. It was a regular night, or so I thought, until I found myself tangled in the clutches of sleep paralysis. As I lay there, my body paralyzed, a feeling of unease crept over me. The room seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy, as if something was about to go down. And then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. A terrifying alien figure straight out of a sci-fi nightmare. This extraterrestrial being stood there, tall and imposing, with elongated limbs and a face that defied any human description. It sent shivers down my spine. I wanted to run, to scream for help, but my body was trapped, frozen in place. The alien's eyes seemed to pierce through my very soul, as if it could see every fear and vulnerability within me. And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, a blinding light enveloped the room, as if a searchlight had locked onto me. Before I knew it, I was lifted off my bed, floating weightlessly in midair. Panic surged through me as I realized I was being beamed up into a spaceship, abducted by this otherworldly creature. I couldn't believe what was happening. It was like something out of a cheesy sci-fi movie, except this was all too real. Inside the spaceship, everything was alien. Strange lights, bizarre gadgets, and a sense of eerie silence that made my skin crawl. I desperately tried to move, to break free from the paralysis, but it was useless. I was at the mercy of this alien entity. They probed and prodded, studying me with an intensity that sent waves of terror through my core. It was a nightmare come to life, a waking horror I couldn't escape. Eventually, the alien figure released its hold on me, and I found myself back in my bed, drenched in sweat. Before I knew it, I was back in my room. However, the abduction lingered like a sinister shadow. Was it all just a vivid dream? Or had I truly been taken by an alien presence? The lines between reality and the supernatural blurred, leaving me questioning my own sanity. So, my friend, the next time you find yourself paralyzed in your bed, just remember, you never know what eerie creatures might be lurking in the shadows, waiting to whisk you away into the unknown.